All right, all right. What's up, y'all? Hey, well, we're back to the Confederate flag again. Okay, look, I've been trying to tell Republicans, conservatives for years. This is something that you need to take care of because these monuments, that Confederate battle flag, these things are a sabotage to you, and it's self-destructive. It's self-defeating for anybody who's voting Republican. You know, like NASCARs, like you, a lot of people are Republican voters. You know, conservatives and whatnot. And I've been trying to tell Republicans for years, look, you got the right policy, you got the right message, but that stuff doesn't matter hardly any if people don't trust you. And one of the reasons why they don't trust you is because everything that they're upset about in terms of racism and all that sort of stuff is the stuff that the Democrats have done, and Republicans have allowed that stigma to be placed on them, and Republicans helped them do it. I've been trying to tell you. Okay, so let me just get right down to the Confederate battle flag. And I guess the issue has come up with NASCAR. What are you guys doing? All right, and you got Republicans that are afraid to speak out against this flag. Republicans, let me help you out here. The Confederate battle flag, the Confederacy itself, was represented by the Democrat Party. It was founded by the Democrat Party. The rebellious Democrats, not radicals. They weren't radicals then. They're not radicals now. They were rebels then, and they are rebels now. I wish you guys would get that straight, because you keep calling them radicals when they're not. And then you wonder why people think the parties have switched sides. And it's the same thing with all these Confederate items. Republicans, if you're going to argue, if you're going to make the argument that, well, people should have the right, it's heritage and its history, at least make sure people know that its heritage and history lies with the Democrat Party. But you don't do that. Instead, you just make this vague argument that it's heritage and history. Well, heritage and history of what? All right. If you're gonna argue to leave the monuments up, then tell people, it's like, well, yeah, leave them up and make sure that people know that these were Democrats. But Republicans don't do that. You know, so when you got they even went after Lincoln. You know why they went after Lincoln? Because you got people out there, like even Republicans, trying to say that Lincoln never cared about freeing the slaves and really didn't understand the strategy of Lincoln. They just rolled over and let that narrative go through. So you got people out there that think that Lincoln didn't care about freeing the slaves, and the Emancipation Proclamation wasn't what people think it means, and all that sort of stuff. And you've let that narrative dominate. So yeah, they'll go after those monuments too. You know, so but with the Confederacy, that's who it was represented by. And Republicans don't make the correlation. They don't put it out there. You know, so, or they'll make arguments that you know, when we're arguing about whether a state flag or a state building should wave the flag or not, the big argument is that, well, it's not a national flag, it's a battle flag. Okay, well, yeah, I know it's a battle flag. All the more reason why a state building shouldn't be waving it. Because if it's a battle flag and you're on American soil, and the Confederacy went to war with the Union, well, basically what you're saying is that state that's waving that flag is still in a state of war against the Union, against America, against the Constitution, because that flag was raised in allegiance to the Constitution of the Confederate States. And they swore allegiance to that Constitution, to go to war against the U.S. Constitution. That was the Democrats then. That is the Democrats today. But Republicans, they're not registering this. Instead, they defend the Confederate battle flag. They defend these Confederate monuments that don't even have anything to do with them. The Confederacy was established by Democrats who have murderous hatred against you. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a picture of Stockholm syndrome. You've given into your oppressors. You've given into the people who basically have designs on killing you. That's been proven. It's already happened. All right. So what I'm just wondering, man, what it's strange why it's so difficult to get this message out there. You got Republicans out there that are so frustrated that when they try to tell people this stuff that, so, well, every time we tell them, they tell us that the party switch side. Yeah, because you help them. You give them the ideas that the party switch side. When you're out there supporting, leaving up these Confederate monuments and the battle flag and all that sort of stuff, and calling them radicals, calling Democrats radicals, you give them all the stuff that they need to promote the idea that the parties have switched sides. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think that these people are trying to tell you? And I have to wonder, man. What did, when I see these, whether it's Blexit or these groups of blacks that are going to meet with Trump and they're having these meetings with him, and what did you guys go to do? Did you go just to have like a big picture? Did you go to have a big picture op? Get your picture taken with Trump? What did you guys do? What did you tell him? Okay, because for some reason, even though we have, I know you're all proud of the economy and black unemployment going down and all that sort of stuff. I told you over and over again, it's not about the economy. It's not about jobs. There's a deeper issue. That stuff, y'all, that the economy and jobs, that stuff is fragile because there is something that has to be more solid underneath that. And that stuff will crack. The culture will crack underneath it. What are you seeing right now? Look how it was almost too easy, right? Places going up in flames because there wasn't a cultural connection that needed to be made, and Republicans dropped the ball on that. Did y'all tell Trump what actually needed to be done to get this stigma off of the Republican Party? I don't think you did. No, what you guys got was a picture. Maybe you guys did tell him some useful stuff. Maybe you did. But if you can't tell him how to break through the wall of stigma on how to convey that message, then you guys didn't really tell him anything. It just fell on deaf ears. I still see Trump out there still calling these Democrats radicals. I still see all these high-profile conservative voices in media still calling these people radicals, still making the same arguments about leaving up the monuments, about heritage and all that sort of stuff. They're making the same arguments. All the arguments that promote the idea that the parties have switched sides, and that's why they don't trust us. So you can have a great job market, you can have a great economy, that stuff ain't going to be very stable when you still have a culture that doesn't trust you, that is sold on all the evils that the Democrats did. It's all on Republicans, and Republicans help them do it. Now, I'll prove it. How many people are going to share what I just said with all these high-profile talk show hosts? Probably none. What are you afraid? Are you afraid that Mark Levin is going to yell at you? I don't care what Zoe has to say, you big dope. They're radicals, and I'm going to call them radicals no matter what. You afraid of that? You afraid to tell them what I said? Nobody tells all these high-profile people any of this stuff. They don't want to talk to me. Trust me, y'all. I've tried to go on the radio shows, and I tried to let them know. It's like, look, man, let's not. And I'll tell them exactly why I'm coming on. And when I actually go on air with them, they steer the conversation away from it. I don't know why that is. Don't believe me, y'all. I've tried to do my due diligence to try to let folks know. But maybe they don't care because you don't. You're not telling them. What are you going to do with this message except say, hey, Zoe, I hear you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate it. I'm really grateful that you guys listen. But that's why they tell us that we're just preaching to the choir. Because what does the choir do with it? What do you do with it? Right? I put this stuff. It's like, man, I'm not talking just for my health. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that you guys will do something with it. Because I don't see anybody doing anything with it. All I see is conservatives and Republicans giving Democrats the material to promote their lies. That's what I see. And I'm trying to tell you, stop it. You're giving them what they need. Remember, y'all, you think it's a small thing. You don't think. That's why the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. You've taken that for granted. You don't think it really means anything. The first thing that the Bible tells you about the devil is that he works in subtleties. You think this is a subtle thing. Those subtleties help to bring death into the world. I'm trying to tell you, you're making the same mistakes that give the Democrats the material that they need to promote a lie. Stop it. Now, please be proactive. Share this message with people. Share it with these people that you see who are in influence and because my voice has been snuffed out, right? They don't want me to be heard. Even a lot of conservatives don't want me to be heard. So, but try. They don't care because you don't seem to. So if you want this madness to stop, there's something that you can do to help turn this around. And if you're going to promote leaving up monuments, Make sure, hey, put a placard up on it. Yeah, we're going to leave this up because y'all, these Democrat elites, they want this stuff taken down because they don't want people to make the association with them, with these Confederate monuments. They've got these Democrat drones out there who don't know any better, tearing this stuff down. And the Democrat elite are wringing their hands saying, yes, yes, make sure you erase our history. Right? That's what they're doing. That's what this is all about. That's why they want this stuff taken down. And you're not fighting back strategically and with finesse. You're not helping them to fall on their own sword, y'all. Some people call it verbal judo, right? You can use all this stuff against them, guys, but you're not. You're not using their own evils against them. Don't repay evil for evil. It's their own evil. Hold up the mirror to them, and you're not doing it. All right? Anyway, enough of that, y'all. Thank you so much for taking up the time to listen. Forgive me for being frustrated. It's, gets tiresome going around in circles with this stuff. Something that can be fixed, and just people just won't do it. It's kind of irritating. But when I take a sip from the Zoloft mug, it helps me to get my head right. You can have a cup like this too. Just go to my website and you can get one of these nice mugs so you can sip in style. All right, y'all. Blessings.